I know some of you are wondering. I know that you're sitting there asking yourself this question. And maybe if you're not, by the end of this video, you just might be. Today, my friends, I am going to share with you 6 signs that it is time to give up your diet. What's up, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianna. I am the diva behind Diva and the Divine, and I am a chronic dieter turned wellness coach who got off the dieting roller coaster and got on with her life, and I'm encouraging you and helping you do the same thing. And today we are going to talk about signs that it might actually be time to take that leap and let go of dieting, maybe even for good, if you know what I'm saying. What are those signs? Well, I would love to tell you. Let's start right away with number 1, which is your mood is dictated by the number that you see on the scale. Did I just make some of you go, ugh? That's me. Picture it with me, if you will. You had a perfect week on plan. Not a calorie, macro, bite, or point was out of line. You saved some of those weeklies. You didn't go over. You restricted that extra dessert that you really wanted to participate in, and you passed on margaritas with your girlfriends. But not only that, you showed up at the gym 7 days this week. You burned all of the calories. You did all of the cardio. On paper, everything was perfection. So the fateful day comes and it's weigh-in day, and you step on that scale and you see a gain. What do you do next? And the answer to that question right there is the thing. It is the sign of whether or not it might be time for you to give up dieting. If you automatically turn to, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? Life is over. This is terrible. I did awful this week. And you start to spiral out of control, dreaming of more restriction. It's okay. I'll just do more cardio, more working out. I'll work out for 3 hours a day instead of 2. If this is what happens to you, if you are grumpy, if you are discouraged, if you feel like a failure because your scale went up despite your perfect week, it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go because the scale has no business dictating your mood like that. Your value is so much more than the number on the scale. But if you keep allowing the scale to perpetuate this cycle with you, you are never going to be able to take off your diet-colored glasses and see your worth outside of the number. And let me be very frank with you. The number on the scale is the least interesting thing about you, my friends. The least interesting thing about you, and literally no one cares. Sorry, hate to break it to you, but if this is convicting to you in any way, that might just be a sign that sign number 1 is your sign. Sign number 2 that it might be time for you to give up your diet is you can't control yourself around certain foods. Y'all, this is restriction mindset in its prime. Everybody always says they have this trigger food. Oh, I can't keep pretzels in the house because I just lose control. Oh, I lose control around brownies, pizza, peanut butter. Insert your trigger uncontrollable food here. And here's the thing. That's not how it's supposed to go. You are, in fact, in total control of your actions. So first of all, when you say you don't have control over a certain food, it's a lie, because you do. You just choose not to exercise that control. But the more important question is, why? Why don't we choose to exercise control over those specific trigger foods? And that one single reason is restriction. When we overly restrict something, we automatically crave it. We automatically want it that much more. Think of the child who got hundreds and hundreds of dollars of birthday presents for their birthday, and they find their little sister playing with a box that one of the toys comes in. Because little sister is having the best time ever with her box, guess what birthday boy is going to want to play with? Spoiler alert, it's not the hundreds of dollars of new toys, it's going to be the box. Because he was told, let your sister play with the box, you can play with the toys. Restriction mindset. The kid's gonna want the box, right? In the same way, when we say, I'm cutting out sugar, I'm cutting out carbs, I'm cutting out insert food here, I have to severely limit this thing because I can't control myself. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say, I can't control myself around peanut butter and I give you peanut butter, guess what? You're gonna overeat the peanut butter. But you have to A, remember that you are in control, and B, get rid of restriction mindset. And the only way to do that is to get rid of the actual act of restricting, my friends. And the only way to do that truly and wholeheartedly is to give up dieting. The third sign that it is time for you to give up your diet is you dread tracking. This is the thing that actually was the telltale sign for me personally that it was time for me to give up dieting. I always believed that I would be perfectly content and happy tracking my food for the rest of my life. Who's with me? Leave a little hand raised emoji if you either believe that this is you right now or have previously believed that this is you. And I know it's some of you because we've had this discussion one-on-one before. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, after years and years and years of tracking my food and having no qualms with it, happy to do it, love doing the food Tetris game to make things fit, fine with tracking even if I go over. Like, the mindset around tracking was actually relatively non-restrictive and pretty solid. And then one day, I noticed I just didn't want to track. And then another day happened and I would track my breakfast, and by lunch I was like, I just don't want to do the work to measure the food. I don't want to put it in my tracker. I don't feel like looking at those numbers. And all of a sudden, those days started to outweigh the number of days that I was perfectly okay with tracking. And all of a sudden, I would switch plans. Oh, I'm going to track in Points Plus today. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and track in Smart Points today. I'm going to use the Weight Watchers app today. I'm going to track just calories today. Oh, I'll track my macros today. I would bounce back and forth so quickly I was giving myself whiplash because I was looking for a form of tracking that didn't make me want to bash my head into a wall, if you get what I'm saying. And I realized that the problem wasn't what plan I was tracking. The problem was tracking as a whole. And that, to me, when I previously believed that I could track every day for the rest of my life and be perfectly content, that was true until it wasn't. Is this you? Might be a sign it's time to let it go completely. Sign number 4 that it might be time to let go of your diet is you are constantly thinking about food. Again, give me another raised hand emoji or an avocado emoji or something of that nature in the comments section if you relate to this statement. You have just finished a meal and you are already thinking about the next time you can eat. Doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if you're thinking about dinner. I don't care if you're thinking about a snack. You're like, oh, 2 hours until snack time. I can have my yogurt and berries. I can have my protein bar. I can have my dessert. I can have my whatever. You just finished eating and you're already thinking about the next thing that you can eat. My friend, this is not normal. A fixation on food like this is not normal, and it means that food is an emotional crutch for you. It means food is something that you have a scarcity mindset around. It means food is something that is way too important. Now, let me be clear. It's very important. If we don't have enough food, we perish, right? But it is not normal for us to have a fully satisfying meal and to immediately be like, okay, when do I get to eat next? And constantly thinking about that. Oh, 3 hours until I get to eat my next thing. Oh, 2.5 hours until I get to eat my next piece of food. No. If this is you, it's time. If this is you, we need to have a serious talk. Let's get on a call one-on-one because now I am coaching people out of this very mindset, my friends. If this is you, it is seriously time to consider letting go of dieting. Trust me. Sign number 5 that it is time to let go of dieting is you have too many food rules. Are you somebody who absolutely must have exactly 36 grams of protein with breakfast or everything goes up in flames? Are you somebody who says, nope, absolutely never having canola oil ever again? There are so many unnecessary food rules out there. And while it is okay to have guidelines, I myself have food guidelines and I am an intuitive eater now. But the rigid food rules of I have to have exactly this at exactly this time and all of these food rules, and there are many food rules. I can never eat regular pancakes again. It has to be protein pancakes. I can only eat dieted down X, Y, and Z. Never shall a piece of inorganic fruit cross these lips, whatever it is. And like I said, there are many. There are so many that I can't even come up with 25 examples because like there are infinite numbers of examples. My point is this: if you live by an incredibly rigid set of food rules for the sake of your weight loss diet, it's time to let it go. You gotta loosen up, my friend, because I care about you. Living a life of rigidity is no life to live. You gotta ebb and flow. You gotta live in the middle. Yeah, it's okay to make sure that most of the time you get protein and fiber with breakfast, but sometimes you just want a stack of pancakes from IHOP and you just want to call it a day. And that needs to be okay. So tying your identity into this rigid set of rules might mean it's time to untie the bow and put it somewhere else. It might be time to let it go. And then the sixth and final sign that it might be time to let go of your diet is your diet has stopped working. I know. Talk about like the ultimate plateau. All of these things, all of these diets work until they don't. And the body adapts to them. And sometimes seasons change. The diet that I have previously lost 57 pounds on, I tried again and again and again throughout a period of 12 years. And guess what? It stopped working. It wasn't my fault. It's the diet's fault because diets don't work. And so instead of focusing on the heavy restriction and, oh my gosh, what other quick fix? How can I lose weight fast? Diet this, that, and the other thing. Insert 500 different diet names here. What if instead you took the focus of dieting away completely? Let me tell you, my friends, I have lost inches. I have stopped the wild fluctuating on the scale. My scale has gone down a little bit. All since I stopped dieting. My face is thinner than it was the entire last year of me dieting and it not working. And it wasn't for lack of trying, to be clear. I have proof. I have coach-approved tracking metric things, trackers, all of the things that my coach looked at every single day. And we both sat there and went, don't know why this isn't working. Don't know why. It's because diets don't work. Ultimately speaking, diets don't work. So the sooner that you can make a shift into a more intuitive lifestyle, the sooner you can let go of dieting and focus on eating for wellness, eating for health, eating to nourish your body, yes, but also not freaking out if you decide to eat ice cream for lunch one day. It's a big process, and it's a process that I can help you through. So we're not talking about the process here today, but the whole point is diets start to fail over time. How many of you have been dieting for so long and you're like, I don't know why it doesn't work. I don't know why I need so many fewer calories to lose weight now than I did when I started. It's all part of what happens. So if your dieting has stopped working, maybe it's time to stop dieting. I hope that gave you something to seriously sit down and consider. I know that it can be a scary, scary decision to make, but I promise you, not a single person that I have either coached through this myself or witnessed them telling their story or talked to them about it has ever regretted the decision to let go of dieting. And quite frankly, many of them are thriving in a whole brand new, vibrant way since doing so, because all of a sudden, life is not about the number on the scale. All of a sudden, life is not about calories, but about nourishment. It's about living. It's not about movement to burn calories, but it's movement to feel good, to do good, to be good to our bodies. It's a completely different life over here. And the first step is to consider letting go of dieting. And I hope that's what I've done for you today. Just planted the little seed. You don't have to make a decision right now. But just think about what I've said. Come back to this video again if you need to hear it again and reconsider and re-mull it over. I'm happy to be here for you. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below, or you can reach out to me, join my free Facebook group, all of the things. The links to them all are in the description box. I love you, I'm rooting for you, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.